Okay, Sunday, July 5th, 2026, update from my front porch. This is Kurt Fankhauser. Hope everybody had a wonderful 4th of July. I've done some reflecting upon the holiday, and I've come to the conclusion that the revolutionists that declared independence 250 years ago were actually under less tyranny with their monarchy king back in England than we are under today here in Bucyrus, Ohio. Okay, people, you've got this constant, the government coming down on you. Government only exists because the people allow it to exist. And we have gotten so far away from that I recommend watching. I shared a video. It's Peter Schiff. I'll put it in the link here on the comments for what basically being an American means. Also, I think that here in Bucyrus, our government is just totally not serving the people. It's all about what can we do to keep this government thing rolling, this government gravy train that's benefiting the people that are in that system. Okay, look at the mayor of Bucyrus. Okay, he should be serving the taxpayers, and what can he do to help the taxpayers out? But what he's doing is he's trying to preserve the government system in its current form of, we got all these jobs, all these union jobs. Government should only ever do the things that the private sector can't do. Okay? The private sector can do water. The private sector can do trash. It used to be able to do EMS, but that's changed, which is why EMS is now being done by the fire department. And private sector can't do law enforcement. So there's very few things that the government should be doing. But here in Bucyrus, we got this weird scenario that government's trying to do everything. Okay, pick up your trash. You know how many companies would love to pick up your trash? Private sector companies. Okay. But no, we got to go spend $1.2 million on two unnecessary arm-loading garbage trucks so that these so that we can get locked into keeping this solid waste within the taxpayers' realm here. We need to be downsizing government. Okay. Now, as far as I know, I'm the only one that has this mindset of let's lower the taxes. Okay. Now, some people are going to come out and say, well, you can't lower the taxes. You can't lower taxes. Yeah, you can. You just got to. Government has to become more efficient. Government is probably the most inefficient industries in the world. Okay? And just tell me, name two things that the mayor of Bucyrus has done to significantly cut expenditures of the city. He ain't done shit. City council's the one that changed the budget and made the fire department have to go down to 5 minimum staffing at night. That wasn't the mayor that did that. I'm surprised he didn't veto it. But we have very few people in government that's trying to reduce costs on anything. I was one of them. But the rest of them all, they just want to keep this gravy ass train rolling along. And that's what it is. It's a gravy ass train that benefits the people that's in it. You know, these government jobs have way better health care, way better retirement than any private sector job. It used to be that you took a lower pay in your government job because you had the better benefits. Well, now they got the same freaking pay and better benefits. They just want it all. And here the common taxpayer is just totally unable to survive. And something else is coming. I don't know how much y'all have been paying attention to some of the financial stuff with the stock market and all that, but that stock market is sky high right now. And you know what they say, what comes up eventually comes back down. So if you got money in the stock market, I know the last several years probably looked really good on your portfolio, but you know, they're saying there's a potential of a massive stock market correction anytime now. It could be immediately, it could be a couple years down the road, but I wouldn't want to risk it. I want to share a couple other videos, some links to, there's people predicting that there's going to be like a 1920 depression all over again, that the whole thing's going to collapse. And I almost think with the national debt being 40 trillion that something's going to happen. Something's got to break eventually. And you know, just do what you got to do to protect yourself. Get your money out of the stock market. Put it in actual, you know, buy physical assets that you can hold on to if you got to. Because if it, you know, that stock market, everybody thinks, oh, we got all this money. We got all this money. Look at our stock portfolio. Do you know that could all be gone in an instant? It's not a realized appreciated gain until you cash it out. So, and you know, the other thing is inflation. This is what I think they're also going to do too. So, you know, we got this 40 trillion national debt, and you got all the, you know, how are we going to pay for that, you know? Well, they make the inflation go up faster than normal, and it devalues the debt. Okay, all these social welfare programs, Social Security and all that, that these obligations that the government has to pay, well, what's the best way to make that number, that obligation, less painful for them to pay? They devalue the currency through inflation, printing more money. You know? Yeah, you'll probably get your Social Security. Everybody's probably going to get their Social Security, but that Social Security ain't going to be able to buy what it used to. So, you know, this inflation is actually, it's stealing of people's savings is what it is. You know, if you got, we experienced it during COVID. Everything went up 50% in what, 2, 3, 4 years? 50%. If you had, you know, assets, physical assets purchased, real estate, they went up in value. You didn't feel it. You know, your asset is worth 50% more most of the time. But if you had money in the bank, you lost 50%. almost of your buying power with that money. I think they're going to do this inflation thing and steal everybody's wealth. That's what I think they're going to do. It's going to devalue the debt, make the 40 trillion not as big. It's going to be a financial reset. Don't know when it's going to happen, but it has to happen. They can't service the national debt as it is off of the interest rates and stuff that's going on right now. When that interest comes up for renewal here, most of that national debt, probably a third of it, was financed at very low interest rates 5 years ago, and some of them were on 5 years, and they got to come up for renewal, and they ain't gonna get that low interest rate again. Federal Reserve interest rates are higher. So I don't know what to tell you. I know that we can try to be more conservative here in Bucyrus, which is what I'm trying to do, because I have there's no chance we're going to change anything at the federal level. That thing's too far gone. I think there's people involved clear at the top that's manipulating the markets, benefiting from them. You see these trades that take place 30 minutes before Trump comes out and announces something, and all of a sudden certain commodities skyrocket and somebody made all kinds of money. You know, we're just basically pawns for some oligarchs clear at the top. Just think about that. So I'll share a couple video links. I recommend watching them. If you got money in the stock market, boy, I'd be doing some serious reflection on where you got your money. And the bonds ain't gonna help you, because, you know, let's say you buy a 4% bond, but inflation goes up 50% again. You just lost, you know, over 40%. So what are you gonna do? I don't know what you can do. I really don't. But that's it. Have a fine day.